This is how I went from 2.5 years of chronic back pain and 3 different physiotherapists telling me I'd never lift weights again to pulling a 600-pound deadlift pain-free, stronger than I was before I ever got injured. And more importantly, in this video, I'm going to show you how I now help injured powerlifters, Olympic lifters, and serious gym lifters get back to crushing PRs without endless physio visits and generic rehab exercises, without hour-long rehab routines before every workout, and without playing the flare-up guessing game with random fix-your-back videos off Instagram and YouTube. And I'm going to show you how you can do the exact same thing. But first, let me tell you a bit about my story, because people assume a physio who pulls 600 has never actually been hurt, and for me, that could not be further from the truth. So, lifting has been a part of who I am basically my whole life. I started out as a competitive trampoline gymnast, I got into CrossFit, and then at 15 years old, I fell in love with Olympic weightlifting. And I want you to understand, training was never a hobby for me. It was my identity, and it was the thing that I built my life around. Then in 2017, while I was training and competing in Olympic weightlifting, I herniated a disc in my back. And the herniation was honestly just the beginning. It spiraled into 2.5 years of chronic back pain, chronic sensitization, widespread pelvic floor dysfunction. My body basically stopped tolerating the one thing I love most. I couldn't lift weights without pain. Now, here's the thing. I didn't just sit around hoping it would go away. I sought out world-renowned physiotherapists. Not the clinic down the streets, people at the forefront of the entire rehab world. And I did exactly what they told me to do, to the letter. And 3 different physios told me the same thing. They said, you'll never lift weights again, give it up, you've damaged your spine, find something else that's safer. Think about being told to give up the thing that made you, you. I remember sitting there thinking, is this it? Is this my peak? Am I done? And the crazy thing is, I did everything they said. Every exercise, every restriction, all of it. They could talk about my pain all day long, but nobody, not a single one of them, had a plan for getting me back to a loaded barbell. That gap between managing your pain and getting you back onto the bar, nobody in the rehab world was even trying to fill it. So I did what every lifter does. I rested it, I rolled it, I did the fix your back videos, the generic physio exercises, the McGill 3, everything the experts prescribed to the letter. And I got stuck in what I now call the flare reset loop. I'd load it, I'd test it, things would flare up, I'd have to deload, and then I'd start all over again. Every single comeback attempt ended the exact same way. And here's what made it so confusing. My body handled daily life just fine. I could walk around, I could go to work, no problem. It just would not tolerate training anymore. And that's when the self-doubt really set in. Every session became a negotiation with my own body. Okay, what's my back going to do today? Can I even warm up? And I remember genuinely thinking, maybe my heavy lifting days are behind me. Maybe those physios were right. And that's when I knew nobody was coming to fix this for me. I had to figure it out myself. So, number 1, I refused to accept stop lifting as an answer. I took my kinesiology degree, my years coaching athletes, everything from varsity strength and conditioning to elite lifters, and I earned a master's of physiotherapy. And I went all in on one question: how do you systematically rebuild a lifter's ability to tolerate heavy training instead of just treating pain and guessing? Because that's the thing nobody was doing. Everyone was treating my pain, nobody was rebuilding my capacity. And it worked, first on me. I broke the flare-up cycle, I rebuilt my capacity step by step, and I got back to full, pain-free, confident training. No more negotiating with my back before every session, no more fear before heavy sets. And last year, I pulled 600 pounds, stronger than I ever was before the injury, with the same back that 3 physios wrote off. That system became the pain to PR protocol, and it's exactly what I use now with injured lifters who've been told the same things I was told. Now, if you're watching this, I bet a lot of what I just described sounds like what you're living right now. So let's talk about why nothing you've tried has worked, because it's probably not what you think. First, rest doesn't rebuild capacity. Rest lowers the load. It never raises what your body can tolerate. And that's why every time you take time off, the pain calms down and then comes right back the moment that you load heavy again. You haven't fixed anything. You've just stopped asking the question. Second, traditional physio isn't built for lifters. You get the bands, the gentle exercises, and then you get discharged at pain-free with daily life and told to avoid heavy lifting. There's no bridge between not hurting and a heavy barbell. And I can tell you from personal experience, the best physios in the world couldn't bridge that gap for me either. It's not that your physio was bad, it's that this was never the problem they were solving for. Third, Random internet exercises aren't a plan. They're not built for your body or your lifts or your numbers. So you end up spending months working really hard on the wrong problem. And then fourth, you're doing it alone. Nobody's watching how your body responds week to week and adjusting the plan. So every flare up sends you right back to zero. And I want you to really hear this. It's not your fault and you're not broken. You just haven't found an approach that treats this as what it actually is, a load tolerance problem. And load tolerance is trainable. Now, a lot of lifters hear all that and think, okay, maybe that works for other people, but my injury is different. My case is too severe. I'm too far gone. So let me show you some of the lifters I've personally coached. This is Quinn on the left here. Quinn came to me after a complete biceps rupture, the kind of injury where everyone around you tells you that your heavy pulling days are done. And it wasn't just everyone. His own surgeon and his physio told him he should give up lifting weights for good. Sound familiar? He ended up deadlifting 585 pounds, pain-free, and setting state records in powerlifting. But honestly, the number isn't even the best part. The best part is that he has full confidence in his strength again. He doesn't think about the bicep, he just pulls. This is Godefroy in the middle here. Years of low back flare-ups, and these weren't small ones. Each one would set him back for months at a time. That flare reset loop that I described earlier, he lived it for years. And he didn't just get back to where he was, he's lifting the heaviest weights he has in years back to snatching and clean and jerking, and he's training for Olympic weightlifting competitions again. And that's the point that most people miss. Done right, you don't come out of this patched up, you come out more resilient than before the injury. And this is Evan. Multiple compression fractures in his low back. He spent years trying to manage the pain, cortisone shots, physio that went nowhere, stuck in a pain clinic. Now he lifts heavy 3 to 4 times a week. He golfs, he runs, he plays volleyball without a second thought. He's got full confidence in his body's ability to do whatever he asks of it. And my favorite detail, he self-discharged from the pain clinic he'd been stuck at for years. He didn't need to be managed anymore. And these are just a few. We've helped over 100 lifters at this point. Competitive lifters getting back to the platform, lifters who don't compete at all. The gym is their outlet, their therapy, getting it back. Comebacks from surgeries, from ruptures, from disc injuries. This one over here gets me every time. 0 back pain after a heavy workday followed by deadlifts for the first time in 2.5 years. 2.5 years. That was my exact number too, by the way. And then this one's actually Quinn again, in his own words, the day that he pulled it. 585 deadlift. Enough said. Not even a thought to my biceps being able to handle it. There's nothing different between these lifters and you except the plan they followed. So what is that plan? Let me walk you through it. And I'm going to explain it through my own comeback because it's the exact same process. Phase 1 is the evaluation. The first thing I had to do was understand what was really driving my pain and flare-ups. Was it strength, movement, tissue capacity? What loads could my body actually tolerate right now? And how big was the gap between that and my lifts? And critically, what genuinely needed ruling out versus what was just fear? Because most injured lifters spend months, sometimes years, working incredibly hard at the wrong problem. I sure did. Once you know your real baseline, nothing that follows is guesswork. Phase 2 is the one program, not 2. This was a big unlock for me. My rehab and my training had to be one program and not 2 competing ones, because that's what everyone gets wrong. You've got a physio plan telling you one thing and a training plan telling you another. In my system, strength training is the rehab. It's built around your lifts, your schedule, and your numbers, delivered on an easy-to-use app with videos and sets and reps and loads and 0 guesswork. And we track your progress across 16 specific measures so you watch yourself getting better instead of hoping that you are. Phase 3 is coaching and accountability. Look, I'm a physio, and doing it on my own for 2.5 years had already proven that doesn't work. Your program gets updated every single week based on how your body actually responded, pushing load when you're ready and pulling back before a flare-up instead of after. And that's the difference. Flare-ups get caught, not collected. Plus, you have direct access to me between check-ins for questions and form reviews, so you're never lying awake wondering whether that twinge means that you're back to square one. And now that's the exact same process that I use with every single lifter I work with. Squats, clean pulls, I think I'm on the right path, knee feeling great, 475 squat, no belt, no sleeves, no pain. That's what this looks like week to week. So what actually makes this different? I'm a physiotherapist and a strength coach and a lifter who's made this exact comeback, including being told to quit. I'm not a physio guessing at what your sport demands, and I'm not a coach guessing at what your injury can handle. I'm both. It's one plan, rehab and performance in a single system, no contradicting advice. Your progress is measured, it's not run on vibes, and it adjusts weekly so flare ups get caught and not collected. Now, two questions you might already be asking. The first is, how does this work online without hands on treatments? And here's the truth, hands on was never the thing that rebuilds load tolerance. Progressive loading is. And online, you actually get more access than traditional physio, not less. Your whole plan lives in your app. Your progress is measured objectively. You can see it yourself instead of relying on a therapist to tell you, and you message me directly instead of waiting 2 weeks for your next appointment. Second, what if my case is too structural for this? I herniated a disc and pulled 600. Quinn ruptured a bicep and pulled 585. Evan fractured his spine in multiple places and plays volleyball now. The evaluation gives us an honest answer, and in the rare case that what you're dealing with is genuinely something I can't help with, I'll tell you straight on a call and I'll point you exactly to where you need to go. You'll never be strung along. I had years of being strung along, and I won't do that to you. And this is what it sounds like from inside the program. Dan, you've done what I thought was impossible. I have zero back pain. You're a magician. Matches my highest deadlift since surgery. Exactly the thing that we set out for. A personalized system and plan is the key. That's the whole thing here. So here's the biggest thing I want you to take away from this video. It is 100% possible. You're not broken. The overwhelming majority of injured lifters don't have something structurally stopping them. They have a load tolerance problem and no plan. I've been through the exact same struggles you're facing right now, including being told to give it up. You don't have to accept that answer either. And honestly, this was never just about fixing an injury. It's about getting back the version of you that walks into the gym confident, loads the bar, and doesn't negotiate with your body first. It's about transforming your relationship with your body and your strength. The system that took me from 3 physios writing me off to a 600-pound deadlift has a name, the Pain to PR protocol. It's the exact process I just walked you through. The evaluation, one program that combines your training and rehab, and weekly coaching that catches flare-ups instead of collecting them. Now, I want to be straight with you about what this is. This is a serious one-to-one individualized coaching program, and I coach you through it personally. It's not a free PDF. It's not a generic app you download and figure out alone. I take on a limited number of lifters at a time, which means I also don't work with everyone who applies. So this is for you if you're a lifter, you've been stuck in the flare reset loop, you want to get back to lifting heavy, and you're ready to commit to a real plan to get out of it. And it's honestly not for you if you're looking for a quick fix, a handful of free exercises, or someone to just kind of manage your pain and keep you comfortable. That's not what I do, and quite frankly, that's not what this is. So if that's you, here's your next step. Click the link in the description below and fill out a short application. It only takes a few minutes, and it tells me what's been going on, what you've tried, and where you want to get back to. I personally read every single one that comes my way. This is not a form that disappears into the void. And if I look at your application and I think I can genuinely help you, we'll reach out to get you on a call. And on that call, we'll dig into exactly what's been going on with your training and where you want to get back to, and whether the protocol is the right fit for you. And if it's not, I'll tell you. There's no pressure, there's no being strung along. I had years of that, I won't do it to you. So if you're interested, fill out the application and let's get to work.